Okay, what do we got? We got, quote, ugly female leads in video games from your boy, Asmongold TV. Okay, what is going on? Some bullshit about, what is this? The damn gamer, or no, the Game Awards, and some new trailers got released, and there was a couple of games where there was some like female leads, and now there's like some people are like kind of mixed feelings on it. So let me see.
Hi, guys, it's me again, and today we're going to be talking about some drama. We're going to be discussing the new games that got announced at the Game Awards, and I watched the show. I thought it was great. I had a good
Yeah, I watched the Game Awards too. It was uh it was an award show. I kind of have learned after being like 35 to like not take award shows too seriously, because at the end of the day, the awards don't matter, the points don't matter, nothing matters, as the great whose line is it anyway host put it. So just like the movie awards, whichever one you want, the actor awards, whichever one you want. Um, yeah, they don't matter.
time, but a lot of people didn't. And guess what? It's for the two main games that got announced there, The Witcher 4 and also Intergalactic. Now, both of these games, I think, had a lot of discourse surrounding them,
Hmm.
and we're going to talk about that discourse. And we're also going to talk about what that discourse implies with people that have become increasingly against and at war with reality. And this, every single time that reality hits them in the face, there are a lot of Twitter threads about it because people are not happy. And guess what? If you spend all day on the internet, you usually have a distorted view of what the world looks like. And
Well,
even to
like, so like, thank God that I have like a regular job, because fuck, man, if I was just like on the internet, I mean, understandably, whenever I'm not at the job, I am just at home being a casual internet tourist, as I like to call it. Um, if I didn't have my job and was not grounded or brought back to reality, oh so often, I too would probably be stuck in a delusionalville of some random ass shit pissing me off that doesn't need to. But yep, I'm not. So
a certain extent, I'm sure so do I, but it seems like these people are even worse than I am. So, anyway, let's go ahead and at the beginning, I want to talk about one thing before we get into either of the games, actually. Let's talk about subjective opinions. So, anybody cannot like or like a video game for whatever reason that they want. They don't have to justify this, they don't have to explain it, they don't have to debate it or argue it with anybody else. So if you do or you don't like any video game, you should never feel like you're obligated to defend that opinion or not, because it is your own subjective opinion and
mhm.
you have every right to it and nobody can take that away from you. So
Yeah. So like for the longest time, my dumbass thought I had so much trouble trying to remember which one was like trying to figure out the difference between subjective and objective, because I don't know, American education. Subjective is just an opinion, like you just said, and objective is something that is not up for debate. It's more factual. You can prove it. You can replicate it. Um, like the sky is blue, grass is green. A centimeter, a millimeter. These are objective things that you can like measure.
So I just want to make that very clear because there have been so many people talking about how, oh, well, this person shouldn't be having this opinion. You shouldn't be saying this. You shouldn't care about this. Well, guess what? Some people do. Too fucking bad. Anyway, let's talk about The Witcher 4. Now, The Witcher 4, well, The Witcher 3, one of the best selling games in the last 10 years, had a male protagonist. The new game has a female protagonist.
Mm-hmm.
If you understand the story, which at least I kind of do, I understand at least enough of it to see why the new female protagonist is the one carrying on the story.
Mm.
Now, this, however, has caught a lot of people off guard, and it's frustrated a lot of people because I think that there has been a growing trend that people are observing of genres and different IPs that have had a male lead that's being replaced by a female lead.
That is pretty true. I mean, all of my favorite IPs that I used to like, um, they're just, you know what I think? A lot of my favorite IPs, I think some of the, and it really depends on the game because let's take a game like Skyrim as an example. You can be a dude or a chick in that game. The gender doesn't really matter. I mean, you could be a fucking Khajiit, an Argonian, whatever. That doesn't even matter. The thing that matters is the main character is just going through some shit. It's the main character is going through the hero's journey type of thing. There's gonna be a big looming bad guy as the main hero goes through some trials and tribulations, and then there's like a climax where the hero eventually overcomes the bad guy, and then there's like a conclusion of your basic gist. And that's like the general layout of like a Skyrim game or of Skyrim. Not every game has to do that formula to a T perfectly like that. You take something like, I don't know, BioShock Infinite. You're Booker DeWitt. You are a dude. And your little cohort is who was the girl? I forgot her name. But in that game, you cannot choose your character. Just this is the main character. It is what it is. Play it or don't play it. That game also has a really good story. So I don't know. It's hard to try to figure out like which formula is like good for like the mass the mass amount of audience that people that play games or whatever. I don't think, I think part of the problem is some developers just try to do like cast like a wide net and try to get a little bit of everybody. And sometimes it'll work. Look at Monster Hunter. You could be a dude or a chick in that. It don't matter. No one gives a shit. Look at a lot of popular FPSs. Look at Valorant. Look at Overwatch. Look at Marvel Rivals. What's the one of the new ones? The Deadlock. You could be dudes or chicks in that one. It don't really matter. Just play the good character. Borderlands 2. Yeah, the character is like set in stone, but like there's dudes and chicks in that one. So, honestly, what it feels like is that the story sometimes in these games gets watered down so much to where the story's not even interesting from either the male or the female perspective. It's just simply not interesting. Like it doesn't hit like hard enough. It's not relatable enough is what I think.
And I think also this is again, it goes into my first point about people being at war with reality, because I've got to tell you guys, gender is a massive barrier with relatability. It just is.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that that's the case with everybody. I'm sure there's going to be people that can't understand abstract.
Also understandably, not every game to be good has to put a large like flag in the ground on relatability makes a game good. Well, no, because there's a lot of like weird wonky games that you're not even playing as a human, and just by that like logic alone, it's like, oh, I can't play a human. How can the player relate? Like, so relatability is not the end all be all of variables or bullet points to make a game good.
Ideas, so they have to comment and say that's not what I think. Well, that's nice. But I think that in a general sense it is. I think gender is a massive barrier to relatability. So if you take a character that people relate to and they can see themselves in, and you change its gender, you do fuck with a lot of people's vision of the game and
Mm-hmm.
of the story. I think that's just how it is.
Yeah, and also, in the case of Witcher 3 or Intergalactic, like, or Witcher 3 to Witcher 4, like, I'm not too, like, I never played Witcher 3 yet. So I'm kind of, like, I watched season 1 of, what do you call it? Like, the Henry Cavill Witcher show on, like, Netflix, and I thought that was great. And then season 2 is just like, meh, and then I didn't even watch season 3. Um, but then I saw the Intergalactic trailer, and I was like, oh, like, the graphics were good. I mean, because like in the beginning they were talking about like, oh, this is all in-game footage or shot in-game graphics or whatever. And I was like, oh, okay. So the trailer plays. I'm like, okay, okay, this looks good. That looks good. And I was like, oh, geez, they're doing this again with the female main character, and they decided to shave her bald for whatever reason. So I was like, oh, okay, I guess this isn't for me.
And you can disagree with that, but that doesn't mean that you're. That doesn't mean it's going to go away. I think it is very, very, very much the truth. And so a lot of people are unhappy about this, and they also thought that Ciri is uglier because if you compare her model in game for The Witcher 4, for The Witcher 3, and then you look at
Wait, let me see. I know Ciri's like a character. Okay, Ciri in Witcher 3. Okay, what? Please, God, don't destroy me. Okay, that's what she looked like. Um. Oh, okay, okay. Here's like a comparison. Eh. I mean, she's kind of the same. Like, obviously, like one, like like these graphics are like killer, and these ones are like a little dated, but whatever. What else? I mean, that's like an older model. I mean, okay. What else? Okay, I don't want to scroll too much farther. I don't know what I'm getting into. Shit. Okay, Siri in Witcher 4. Okay. Um I think these are like pretty close. It's just like the angle with like it's shot at like bro, if you're trying to say she got like a man jaw or like the man nose, the big chin or something, like bro, I'd have to go in there with like a ruler or something and like measure the millimeters and shit. It's like, and obviously if someone's like in battle, like they're gonna get like dirty and shit. So I mean, maybe. I mean, it's very slight, if anything. Like they're trying to say, like if she's like uglier in 4, it's like we're measuring millimeters of like facial structures at this point. But then again, it's not what act like. I think the comeback would be, what is it? If they had to change her by millimeters, why the principle of it would be why change it at all? It's the principle that matters. It doesn't matter like how much. It's the principle of it is what people would argue. Um, which is, I don't know, fair. If I were to guess, that's a fair like critique. Um, I don't know.
at The Witcher 4, she does look a bit older, and it's a CGI trailer, so there's a lot more detail put into it. It
Mm-hmm.
looks more realistic. Now, my personal opinion, I have actually personally dated a Polish girl with a big nose. So I think that she's fine. But that doesn't necessarily mean that everybody else does. If you think
I mean, what the fuck does you having to do like date a girl with a big nose mean? Like having to do with like whether or not the character is like masculine or feminine enough. I don't really think that matters. I mean, but like, admittedly, it's like, ooh, what do I find attractive? It's like, again, this is like a subjective thing. I mean, you already like stated it, but like, Uh, okay, okay, let's just keep going.
Think she's ugly, you don't want to play the game because of that, that's fine. That's whatever. I personally don't think so, and I think that CD Projekt Red has earned a degree of my trust with how well they've handled Cyberpunk and also The Witcher 3. That
Really? I mean, in the beginning, on on the fucking release day of Cyberpunk, everybody's trust was like destroyed, and it took years to like attempt to repair it. I mean, shit. Some people probably don't even give a shit about CD Projekt Red after the Cyberpunk debacle. Are you kidding me? The dude admitted he knew he released a game that was unfinished. After like how many delays did it go through? It still wasn't enough. I mean, but you know, hey, they kept on chugging year after year. We're dedicated to making giving you a final product and whatever. But I mean, shit. I don't know.
I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, and I'm going to really, really hope that the game is in fact actually good. So we'll have to wait until we see her in-game model and we see a little bit more of the story before I go ahead and start complaining and crying about this all too much. So there's that. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is the growing issue with a lot of games that are adding characters that are unattractive, unappealing, and unlikable. And oftentimes it's all three,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, but many times it's in fact just one. And so what's happened is that I think that a lot of studios have fallen prey to this idea that players and people want to have realistic characters. I don't actually think that this is true.
Yeah, nobody gives a shit about how realistic the character is just because we have Unreal 5.5, 5.6, and then Unreal 6, Unreal 7, Unreal 8. Oh my god, it's like I'm watching an AI, like realistic photorealistic game. It's gonna last forever. No, I don't care about that. If that's what like is in the minds of developers, like the realism of a game, the graphical realistic nature of a game makes it good. I mean, shit. I don't. I mean, you know, like what's gonna happen if that's what they think is like the case. Not a lot of people are gonna be able to run those type of games, dude. I mean, like shit. When the what? How much do you think the price is gonna be of a 5090, 5080, 70 when they come out, the 5000 series for Nvidia? How much do you think those graphic cards are gonna be? All right, they're probably gonna be pretty expensive on day one, and you know, over the course of time, maybe they'll go down. But I swear, you know, the amount of people that are literally upgrading like year after year or just upgrading in general their computer is becoming less and less, right? To constantly be trying to push the top end of like graphical fidelity and like PC games and whatnot. You're just going to narrow your audience down so much so. And I don't know, is that really the point of like making games? I mean, maybe to like some businesses, you know, to only make a artistic game that you know only the top end, the top upper crust of society can enjoy because they, you know, they spend all this time and effort into the graphical realistic quality of the game, and if you're too poor, it sucks to suck. That was not what game developers back in the day. I don't think that's what they would have said. You know, go back in the like the PS1 days, PS2, Xbox, GameCube. It was just about making a fun game that I mean shit that I mean I don't even know anymore. Like all the games back then were like fun, I guess for their time, but shit, I was like a little kid and I didn't really know better. I would just buy up a bunch of games. But I was just so lucky that all the games that came out back then were just good. It didn't really feel like a gamble whenever I buy a new game. Like now, I don't think I've ever bought like a new game without watching like the reviews or whatever first. It's just not the case, man. It's not. I don't think any like the percentage of the pie slice that people just randomly buy games just because they're new is so small, I think. compared to like back then.
I think that this is a media narrative that's created by journalists and it's created by people that write about video games, talk about them. But the truth is that I think most people, they actually do care about what a character looks like to an extent. And the people that don't care are irrelevant anyway. Because let's go ahead and use a little bit of logic. So why would you ever put a ugly character in a video game? Well, I think that this serves no one. I don't. I don't think it serves.
Let me see. Let me just, and this isn't an all-encompassing thing. Putting ugly character. Oh, look, Warframe 1999. All relatively attractive characters. Whoop-de-doo. Let me see. Library. Okay. What the fuck is queued up? Kovacs. Oi. Okay, oi. Aim labs. Okay. Alien Isolation. I guess she's like relatively attractive. I mean, I don't really care. You could probably like substitute this as like a dude even. It doesn't like as the main character. Aliens Fire Team, Ape Out, Apex, I'll just swap Assassin's Creed. Understandably, I think a lot of the main characters from Assassin's Creed series were like good-looking dudes, I think. I mean, I don't know. They're all climbing on buildings and shit. Most of the time I just saw them like I just saw their back and ass, dude. The only time I got to see their faces when they were in cutscenes. Let's see. Baldur's Gate. Still didn't play that yet. Back 4 Blood. Battlefield. Battle Bit. Dark Alliance. Beat Hazard. I mean, Bioshock. There's like you don't really get to see the face of the main character. Borderlands. I'm trying to think. Were there ugly characters in Borderlands? Maybe. No, like when you say like ugly characters, usually the purpose of an ugly character in a game is that they represent like the bad guy or the henchman or some sort of like lesser being or they're like a bad guy or something like that. Ugly characters are usually the bad guys in stories. Let me see. Broforce, Bulletstorm, Call Juarez. We got Cyberpunk, all the Dark Souls, Dead Space. Let me see. Devil May Cry, all good-looking characters. All the DMC bros are good-looking dudes. Come on now. Devil May Cry, Dishonored, I guess. Let me see. Doom, you don't really see his face. You know, he's kind of, I mean, you do, but this is just like a parody of like magna masculinity. Dying Light. I don't remember what the main character looked like. Elden Ring. I'm trying to like, and even like Mad Max, or not Mad Max, Max Payne. Was this, I guess this is like a good looking dude, maybe? This is just like an average looking dude to me. Mech Warrior, Metal Gear, that's a good looking dude, okay? Come on now. Middle Earth, I guess that's a good looking dude, or if, maybe you could consider him ugly because he's got like the sunken cheeks, I don't really know. Nier, oh, you know, good looking characters, hey. PoE, RDR, I was chewing through that before fucking PoE 2 came out. Yeah, for the most part, characters in video games are either like non-human, and it doesn't really matter at that point, or if they are human, they like tend to be like on the average looking to good looking side. There are probably some instances where you could find like an ugly main character. You know, Star Wars, bullshit, Thief, Turbo Overkill, Tomb Raider. Oh, Splinter Cell. Shit, I gotta play this again. Fuck. But again, for the, and like this is just in Steam. I played a shitload of games on like Xbox and PlayStation back in the day. Like a lot of the times, characters are either average looking to just ridiculously good looking, you know, on the dude characters, especially fighting games, like the characters in fighting games are like cartoon characters. Like all the dudes they take all the steroids. They are negative percents of body fat. They're all jacked out of their mind. The girls, hourglass shape, big titties, big ass, whatever. To be honest, I don't think I've ever seen like fat characters in fighting games. There are like a couple, but even then, I'm just like, it is kind of like telling because I was gonna say I have never actually seen like a fat chick in like a fighting game. There's probably a couple that exist, but honestly, it just winds down to the culture of what people want in their games. That's what I think. Like, if people wanted ugly people in video games, you would see that as a reflection in the type of products that come out and the studios that are prospering from putting ugly characters in video games. You would see them prospering, but you could just look around and see that not a lot of like studios that put ugly characters in games are prospering. They're just not.
Serves anybody. Because for all the people that don't care whether the character looks good or not, well, then those people are going to play or not play the game anyway, and the reasoning for that is going to be completely independent of the character's appearance. And for the people that are going to play a game or do care about a character's appearance, and they use that as a criteria of whether they like the character or not, and by the way, a lot of people say that people don't do this. If people didn't do this, microtransaction cosmetics would not be making billions of dollars, okay?
Oh yeah,
Like, this is just such a completely stupid, delusional thing to say. They would not be able to sell all these cosmetics if people did not care about how they looked in video games. So,
yeah.
that being said, there's many
Damn.
other examples I can use, like gotcha games, etc.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that let's just look at cosmetics as a meta thing, and then that immediately proves that people do care.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't, but again, abstract sample, there are many people who do.
But do they care about how they look in a video game based off of solely how attractive they look? Or is it they just want to have or on the bullet point of the character looking attractive and fuckable versus having like a regular character and them just being like blinged out with like 10 pounds of like gold chains, gold gun, gold jacket, gold pants. I do the gold floss and I could just like hit the gritty on you and after I teabag you, I would tend to think that is more the case. Like looking cool versus like buying what do you call it, microtransactions for the sense of looking cool versus buying cosmetics for the sense of looking more attractive and fuckable. I think more microtransactions hinge or tend to trend on the side of trying to make the character look cooler, like either male or female. Yes, you could probably find some outliers that, make the male like the $20-50 skin, make the male look attractive. He got no shirt. The $50 female skin that she got like no clothing around her ass and her ass is showing, or it's like a skin tight thing, whatever. Yeah, those exist.
And for the people who do care, I do think that having a character that is unappealing, unlikable, or just in general not something that people want to see, that's just or unrelatable. I think that's another really component. Not necessarily what people don't want to see, but just in one way or another unrelatable. I think this serves literally zero purpose. And in fact, all it does is it serves to hurt the game. So let me explain why. Again, so you have all the people who are, they don't care about the way the character looks. They don't give a shit about it. They're going to play the game based off of the gameplay. Well, they've already made their decision, and the way the character looks, by stated by them, is that they don't care. So then you only have the remaining people who do care about how a character looks. Now, do you think that more people care if a character is attractive or unattractive? Do you think that more people want a character inside of the group of people who care about the way a character looks? Are there more people inside of that group that want the character to be attractive or unattractive?
They want the character to be some sort of fuckable, attractive. This is not news.
Well, I'm just going to take the wild guess and think that they probably should think that the character should be hot. That's it. And this is also true for guys.
He's about to say, it's also true for dudes. Take almost every fighting game, period.
guys as well. I don't really think that anybody wants to play. Well, maybe some people do. Many people probably don't want to play.
Rufus. Don't forget Rufus. Look at Rufus. This. This was peak male performance at a time. This you could go back and YouTube multiple majors and you see this yellow tennis ball at the grand finals multiple times. Yes. This existed. And this is probably about the only one of the very few instances where you see an ugly character thrive. Because you know what they had to do to make the ugly character relevant? They had to give him good moves. He had to be. You can't make the ugly character be bad, because then no one will really play him.
Play a version of a fat neckbeard brony wearing a fedora with a My Little Pony t-shirt with cargo pants and socks and sandals on, and this guy is going to be the one who saves the world from God, right? He's going to have to destroy God.
Yeah.
Many people probably would not really relate with that character, and they'd rather have somebody like Clive from Final Fantasy 16. And so this is true cross-gender, but it's also another big issue, what I was saying before, about people that are living in opposition to reality. A lot of people are in the mindset that these things are not relevant. These things do not matter. And again, they don't matter to a lot of people, but they matter to enough people for this to make a difference. And I also hear the narrative that these are things that are only held by a small minority of people. Only.
Oh yeah, that seems like someone is just typing in some random ass shit to try to push some sort of narrative. That's what that sounds like. Bro, not everybody lives on the internet. And like, if someone were to tweet that dumb shit out, like, oh, there's only a small minority of people that give a shit about how attractive a character is. It's like, no, the amount of people, you'll probably get like a couple hundred like hearts or up thumbs on that. But that couple hundred people is not like the whole representative chunk of people that are going to buy a game. You know, when a new game comes out that does good, what are the numbers are we looking at? Are we looking at hundreds of units sold? No, that's a flop, failure. We want millions of units sold as a business.
A small minority of people actually think this. And I have a challenge to everybody who thinks that. If you think that all of the people that dislike whatever game it is, whether I think the Intergalactic game is probably the one that's most worst received, I want you to find me a reveal trailer of a video game that has a less than 50% like ratio that turned out to be a success for a studio.
Yeah. Damn. To my knowledge, I haven't really seen any game do that. Like the trailer got released. Because what is this shit? Like, let me pop this in. Intergalactic. What was that game called? Intergalactic. Did I spell that right? Trailer. Blech. From Naughty Dog. 1.1 million views. 1.7 million views on PlayStation. Oh, let's see. Let's see the up thumb, down thumb ratio. Naughty Dog. Ooh, 61K up. 148 down. Ooh. Ooh, same thing on PlayStation. 87K up, 208 down. Ooh, not looking good.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Let's find out. And you know.
But hey, the game studio put in for some grants and some like I don't know what the hell they call them. Some like. For whatever, if they build the game around the grants so they can get some free money from the government from our tax dollars. So the game studio already got your money once from the taxes you pay. They want to get your money again by making you some dog shit ass game, and then they're gonna make you pay for it again. $60, $70, $80. maybe the Magic Super Ultra Giga Magna Super Dick version of the game where it's $130, they're gonna get your money again. So they got your money once through taxes and Pell Grants, through the government and organizations that are offering these incentives, and then they want your money again just to buy it.
You know what? I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of them. I've looked for them, I've tried to find them, and I didn't see a single one. And so, what I think is happening is that you have people that want to believe something so bad that it's caused them to distort reality.
I mean, shit, dude. Like when I was a little kid and I saw Dragon Ball Z, I can't tell you how many times I tried to power up and go into Super Saiyan mode, and that has still never happened. Uh, no matter how much anime funk I listen to and how many times I go to the gym, I will never power up and go into actual Super Saiyan. Despite how much I actually want it to be true, it will never happen.
Into imagining that it's actually real. And so what's happened is that a lot of these people are so fixated around making sure that the game reinforces some worldview that they have that they are unwilling to look at the rational implications of what is actually something that players want to see. And this goes into the idea of genres. Now, I'm sorry, guys, but I guess I have to be the bearer of bad news. But if you're making a video game and it's set in space, you're a bounty hunter, you've got guns, and you fight things with laser swords, the majority audience of that game is going to be a bunch of fucking guys.
True. Yeah. What's wrong with that? What, like, guys' money isn't good enough money? And it, like, take it like this. The studio that makes those games in that type of way, they're getting money from the governmental organizations. They got all of that money. That organization got all that money from everybody's tax dollars. So what? Dude's money is good when it goes through like a couple degrees of separation of they took our money from the taxes and it went into this organization and then they gave out incentives if you make the game a certain way. So then dude's money is good that way. But when it comes to the final product of a game, they don't want your money. This game isn't designed for you. You don't want my money twice? So what? My money's only good when you take it from like my taxes and governmental incentivizations to make a game a certain way, but not when I want to give you money for like the final product of a game. Nobody thinks about money like that. They literally don't.
And that's it. So if you make a game like that and you don't appeal to that target audience, you are going to have a very hard time selling that game. And it doesn't matter whether you think this should be true or not, or whether you know somebody who isn't part of that group, who is a girl or whatever, who likes these games, or a guy who doesn't like them. That's totally fine, but I think that the averages speak for themselves. You can look at games like Concord, Dragon Age, Veilguard, or any of the other games that have come out recently that have tried to take a non-traditional approach in telling a story that is meant for a majority male audience. And I think that guess what happens? When that happens, well...
I mean, look at the non-traditional way to tell a story of the hero's journey. All right? Just look at that alone. Most stories are built around that concept of the hero's journey. Anytime like a movie or a book or something tries to deviate from that, it usually doesn't go good. It just doesn't.
A lot of people get frustrated, disappointed, and they think to themselves, you know what? I don't think this game's meant for me. I'm not going to play it. Yeah. And that's what happens. And so I feel like...
And you know what? It sucks to think like that. I do not want to think like that. But I also don't want to waste my money on a dog shit game. It is what it is. Like God save my mom for like buying me like and gambling on all those games that I was like pestering her for. Like, oh, can you get this game? My buddy has it. Meanwhile, I had no idea whether or not the game was good or bad. It just so happened that most of the games I bought back in the day just happened to be good games. But like now, as I said before, like if you're just going to try to buy a new game and when you don't know anything about it, It's just not the same environment as it was back then.
How many points on a graph do you need to be able to draw a line? I think that it's very obvious that these things clearly do matter a lot to players, and this is not enough of a small minority for it not to be taken seriously. And also, I think that the implication is that a minority of people actually care about these things, whereas I think the actual reality is that a majority of people do. It's just that the amount of people that dislike it on social media might be a little bit higher, but it is more or less a respective sample size. Because I've never really seen a case, as I said before, where a game was massively hated on, like the reveal trailer, and then it turned out to be a massive success. I just don't really think this happens.
Yep.
First impressions are really important, and it matters a lot if you make them or not.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of developers are trying to design games and make games for everybody. They're trying to make the game for the target audience of anybody can play this game. It's going to
No, that should not be the goal. To make a game that everybody can play. This game is good for everybody. There's no possible way. Why do you think the saying "you can't please everybody" exists? That's a saying. All right, whether or not it's true or relevant. I mean, like, why is that a saying? Because it kind of is true, actually. Just find your audience. Make a game for the audience, dude. Like, you could kind of like branch out, but like people can feel when you're branching out too far.
appeal to everyone. Well, unless you're playing Tetris or you're playing some other sort of abstract game like that, this is just simply not the case. There are going to be games that are more appealing to men versus games that are more appealing to women.
Yeah.
The same as there's music that way, the same as there's,
Yeah, we can look at any other industry. What do you think Taylor Swift's demographics are for her audience? Do you think they're mostly men or mostly women? I'm going to take a wild guess. It's probably going to be mostly women that listen to Taylor Swift.
movies that way, manga that way. I mean, manga, they do it right. They literally have names for it. Shonen is literally made for young guys. So that's basically the way that they handle it, and I think that they're doing a lot better than comic books now, last time I checked. So the big issue is that people are trying to design and create a narrative that is based off of a worldview that doesn't actually exist. And what's happening is that you see games like Intergalactic and you see games like Concord or Dragon Age or whatever, where they are designed with this perspective that, well, anybody can relate to anybody. And of course, this can be true to an extent, but it's not true on a law of averages. And I think that that's what's really happened, is that you have people that have convinced themselves and gaslighted themselves into thinking that the only way that you can make this game and make it successful is if you make it appeal to everybody, but in the case of appealing to everyone, you actually, in fact, appeal to no one at all, just like Concord did.
Mm.
Just a second, take a drink. So, what I think is going to happen is that these games are going to come out, the reception around them is going to become more negative, and the games will not sell well. And I think this,
Unless another banger trailer comes out that actually has good gameplay, game mechanics, or something, you're gonna need like the holy grail of like game trailers to come out for those games, for them to like swing back into the up thumb direction. Like, you guys need to come out with something good, some gameplay, some good systems, well, I don't honestly, I was gonna say come out with some like climactic character changing shit, but then again, that goes against what I think is wrong with movie trailers, in that sometimes a movie trailer will come out and the movie trailer will literally just give away the whole movie in an effort for you to come and goad you into watching the movie. It's like, god damn it, I don't want the fucking spoilers and plot points to be revealed in the goddamn trailer. So I was gonna say that, but now I have to rethink it and like, okay, no, don't do that. So shit, I don't know. God damn it.
this has been proven time and time again. And ultimately, for all the people that like good gameplay, they're not going to care about this. That's totally fine. But I think that there are enough people out there that also, there's another component to this as well, is that when people view or they perceive some degree of like messaging, or they perceive some degree of like social politics in a video game, it immediately takes them out of the immersive experience the game is trying to create, and it
Yeah.
makes them think about the game in the context of real life contemporary social politics. And I think this destroys the escapism, and it makes people more skeptical and less positive about these video games in a general way. And I think also this happens with movies and TV shows as well, but in a lot of cases it just happens with video games the most because that's what I talk about the most. But anyway, with a lot of these characters, anytime that I see a character that's added into a video game,
Well, this has to happen so much more in like TV shows as well. How many times in the last like 5, 10 years has a TV show came out only for them to completely destroy the IP? Look at Witcher, look at Halo, look at some Star Wars bullshit. Shows are not immune to this either. And it sucks because these are all my favorite IPs that I used to like, I grew up with. And now I just don't want to waste my time because I don't really see like a good story being told. And it sucks. It really does.
and the character is not attractive, or the character is meant to be unappealing to a majority of people, or it's not, it's like doing one of those things where it's like, oh well, all the people that don't like this are bigots or racist or something like that. You can call people that all you want, but that's never going to convince them to buy your game. And I think that the people
Yeah.
that do that, anytime I see that in a trailer, I automatically assume the game is going to be complete trash. And you think to yourself, what do you mean? Like, that just means the character's ugly. Like, who cares? It's what about the gameplay? Let me think about it like this. If making an ugly character, as we've already established, actually is at best like a negative or a net zero effect, and in almost all cases a negative effect, why would anybody do that? And I think that the mindset of putting things into a game that players actively don't like, that is more important than the actual enjoyment of the customer, I think that that mindset is going to permeate the entire game. I don't think that it's just going to begin and end at character selector or at character creation. I think it's going to be the entire game is going to have problems because it is fundamentally at face value, literally at face value, not designed for an audience. And I feel like I've been right a lot. I do. I really feel like, because so I see people getting mad about this, especially getting mad at me. I'm just saying, boys, let's wait and see. Let's see what happens. I wonder if the thing that's happened every single time is going to happen again. Oh wow! What a I don't even know what to say. It's amazing. Yeah.
Bro, there has to be, I mean, like, let me see again. Like, ugly characters. What the fuck happened to my damn Steam? Where the fuck? Come on. Okay, we're at the bottom. Wolfenstein. I mean, this dude is kind of, well, this is kind of like a uglyish dude, but he got like some masculine features. Like, I have to really hunt to like find like an ugly character in some of these games. I know there's Warframe, Walking Dead, Vampire Masquerade. Everybody looks good in Vampire Masquerade. The Goose game. Like, come on. Like, I don't know. Maybe this is just like a cultural thing that has been affecting me, where I only want to play games that are like relatively good looking ish. Maybe, I don't know. Super hot. Like, I really have to hunt for like a game with an ugly character. I mean, like, come on. Even Sifu, good looking dude, good looking car. All the Resident Evils must fucking Mr. Triceps always flexed when shooting any gun, even at arms relaxed. What was this? Resident Evil. Leon, are you kidding me? Remnant, like maybe like you could kind of be ugly-ish in RDR2. Like you could just be like a bad guy. You could let your beard go. You can be stinky. In that sense, it's like an ugly character. But like that's one out of like how many goddamn games? Mirror's Edge. That girl's good looking. Like come on, man. Like Quake. I mean, the dude's got 0% body fat. I mean, yeah, there's a couple like I guess ugly characters. That's a dinosaur. Who gives a shit? It's like a human head on a robot body. That's the dude. It's Doom. Doom guy. It's a chick. Chick with blue hair. Alien bro. Other alien bros. Like if you this is what it's funny. It's like you're not allowed to be ugly. In a video game though. If you're gonna have an ugly character, you may as well make them non-human. To make them like grotesque. That seems to be what the trend is. Like, look, man. Hotline Miami. Like hell divers. Everybody got a helmet on. Ain't nobody want to get like put up with that fucking masculine jawline, fucking handsome Squidward ass face looking ass. Just put a helmet on him. Fuck, man. Any Far Cry game. You're like a good looking dude and the bad guy's good looking. Show me the definition of insanity. Have I ever told you? Fallout. Enter the gungeon.
Well, I don't know. The suspense is killing me. I wonder if the game that everybody seems to hate is going to come out and be hated. And so people have been increasingly walling themselves off inside of their own echo chambers and trying to create their own reality. And I think this is the reason why people want censorship on social media a lot. The reason why is because these realities that they create are very, very fragile. And so the moment that one of these realities actually, butts up against an actual, the real world,
Yeah, it's the real world. The real world is the market whenever the game gets released. Every one of these game studios get hit with a reality check on day one. Or shit, to be honest, the pre-orders will tell them that. We'll hit them with a reality check. Oh, nobody's really pre-ordering our game. Oh, day one. Or wait, no. This is how it'll go. It'll be like, nobody's pre-ordering our game. Nobody's playing our game 3 days before actual launch. Nobody's playing our game on day 0 launch. Or like real launch. I don't fucking know. And then, a month goes by. Nobody's playing our game. 2-3 months goes by and still no one's playing our game. That's the evolution of it. Of reality just coming in and just slapping them in the face.
Experience, well, then these people are going to be writing posts and talking and complaining about it and saying, oh, we'll do better next time. The reality is that a lot of people don't think that way. And I think that you've had the internet that's allowed so many people to effectively remove themselves from reality and construct their own in place of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that video game discourse is a very good microcosm of that. But you're seeing this with politics. You're seeing this with, like geopolitics. You're seeing it with social issues. You're seeing it with everything. And people have become increasingly more disconnected from reality because the internet has allowed them to do that. And it actually does a really good job at that.
Yeah.
And so what I think is going to keep happening is that these people will continue.
Whatever you believe in, there is a group for you to be a part of. 100%.
Butting up against reality and becoming very, very frustrated and upset. And I think it's very funny because I also believe they will never learn. But anyway, guys, those are my thoughts. I think Witcher 4, we're going to have to wait and see. I think with Intergalactic, the game, as I said, the graphics for the game look incredible.
Yeah.
But I don't really think the game's going to do very well.
Just wait for like some gameplay trailer. I mean, because like space, intergalactic, guns, lasers, warp speed, hyperspeed. I don't know. Are we gonna get what do you call it? Are we gonna get another Star Wars Outlaws esque game? I mean, you saw how good that one did.
Make a space bounty hunter video game and you have like a bald girl who isn't conventionally attractive, I don't think you're really going to get that male audience that those games are really intended for. I don't think you're going to get them. And so we're going to have to wait and see, but that's my prediction. And I think also, you can get mad at the people that are saying and being rude about it or whatever, but my best advice is to just wait and see. And I feel like, again, the thing that's happened every single time will probably happen again. So anyway, guys, I'd like to hear what your thoughts are in the comments, and I figured I'd make this video since I've got the day off and I want to talk about this, and that's pretty much how I feel about it. So anyway, guys, thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.
Well, that was another good video. Shit, like everybody's like bothered and everybody's like bitch about complaining about what like my favorite character looks like, and nobody's really talking about what my favorite character is going through. Like that's what really makes a character like good or bad. The shit that they go through, the actions, how the environment affects them, their reaction to it, how do they overcome it? Do they overcome it? Do they have a big chip on their shoulder? Do they die in the process? Does their body get augmented through trying to achieve their goal? Did your favorite character lose an arm, a limb, an eyeball? Is there like a big character, like mental personality change because of an action? Like, let's talk about those things. Not like what fucking is the character like good looking or not. Like, come on, man. Eesh. Okay, that's enough. That's enough bullshitting. Overall, I agreed with some stuff, not necessarily everything, but yeah, ugly female leads in video games. Ooh, a touchy subject. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. Just wait and see. Maybe another banger trailer will come out. And to like just change my mind. I want that. But yeah, let's just wait and see. I'll catch you guys on the next one. All right, later.